Guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? So today we are going to be making the style you are seeing on the thumbnail. So that's what we are going to be making. So by the time you check the style very well, you notice that it's having a flared part and it's having like a yoke part. So this is the net I'm going to be using, this lace. This I'm going to be using for the yoke part, and I'm going to be using this for the flared part. But I'm going to be lining this net with a part of this fabric. So guys, let's get started. So we're going to be cutting out the yoke part first, then we cut out the flared, then we cut out the sleeve. So we are going to be taking it step by step. Started. So I'm going to be cutting out a piece of fabric that I'm going to be using to cut out my yoke. So the full length of the style I'm making is going to be around 41 inches, around 41 inches. That's going to be the full length. So I'm thinking the yoke should be around 9 inches, so that's just going to be a little bit above the bust points. I hope you understand. So the yoke is going to be around 9 inches, and it's going to be a little bit above the bust point, because I think the bust point of the person I'm working with is around 11 inches. So her bust point is around 11 inches, so it means that 9 inches is going to be 2 inches above the bust. So let me cut out a piece of fabric and cut out the yoke, then we continue from there. To get started, so now I've cut out a piece of fabric for the yoke. So I'm going to be drawing a straight line here, which is going to be my starting line. So now from this starting line, remember we said the length we want for this dress, for the yoke, it should be 9 inches. So you mark out your 9 inches this way. Then I'm going to be adding 1 inches. Now that 1 inches is for joining it to the other part of the dress. So I'm going to be adding 1 inches. I hope you understand. So I'm going to be connecting this and making a straight line. So after I'm done, then we work on the neckline for the front. So the neckline for the front, we are going to be using 3.5 by 4 inches. So it's going to be, let me use 3.5 by 3.5. I don't want it to be too down. So 3.5 by 3.5, and I'm going to be making my neckline this way. So this is the neckline for the front. Then the next thing you're going to be doing is that you're going to be coming down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Now you are going to be dividing your shoulder measurement into 2. So after you come down by 1 inch, you can actually take your shoulder measurement before coming down. So the shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 inches. So this is it, 8 inches. So and I came down by 1 inch. This 1 inch back to my neckline this way. And I'm going to be coming up by ½ inches for my joining allowance, the shoulder joining allowance. Then the next thing to do is to work on the person's armhole. So for this person, the armhole I'm working with is around 7.5. So I'm working with 7.5 armhole. So you can see I measured it from under my slope here. So 7.5. So I'm going to be marking the same 8 inches you have here. You'll be marking it this way, and you'll be connecting it into a straight line also. So after I was done, I divided the 7.5 inches into half. That is giving me 3.75. So on this 3.75 mark, I'm going to be marking in ½ inches. I hope you can see it well. So I'm going to be taking my shoulder slope. Oh, sorry, my armhole curve. So I'm getting rid of the gape. That is why I'm going in by ½ inch. I hope you understand. So this is the ½ inch. Just get rid of any gape. So now the next thing you're going to be doing is to input your bust measurement. So for the bust measurement I'm working with is around 43. So 43 divided by 4 is going to be giving me 10.75. So I'm going to be adding 1.5 for my sewing allowance. So I'm having 12.25. So which is around here. So I'm just going to cut this out. I hope you understand. So you're going to be placing your bust measurement on this yoke part. So I'll cut this out now. So this is the yoke for the front. So I'm going to be using this yoke for the front to cut out the back yoke also. So the back too is also having yoke. the back is also having yoke, so I'm going to be cutting out the yoke for the back also. So I'm just going to be extending my folding so that I can have my zipper allowance. I hope we understand. So I'm just extending the folding so that I can have my zipper allowance. So I'm just going to be placing this front. I'm going to be placing it using 1.5 inch for my zipper allowance. So I think I have 1.5 inch here. So this is my 1.5 inch. So I'm just also going to be cutting this out, and I'm going to be tracing it exactly the way I did for the front. Then we'll work on the neckline for the back. So please, when you're cutting the armhole for the back, you're not going to have that curve of ½ inch. I'm just going to be taking it straight, just the way I did. So you can see there's a difference between the armhole of the front and that of the back. So I'm still going to be working on this slope area. Now for the neckline for the front, for the back, sorry. The neckline for the front, I'm using 1.5 inches. So you can see it here. This is 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to be cutting it also out. So this is it for the back and for the front. So this is the yoke for the front and this is the yoke for the back. So now the next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be cutting out the flared part. Now on this part, I'm going to be placing my net on it. So you can see that the net I'm having here is like ½ inches. It's very small. So I'm just going to be placing it here like this. I'm just going to be placing it in a way that is going to contain this part. I'm going to be using it just for the front because I don't think it will be enough for the back also. So I'm just going to be using it for the front and a little bit of the sleeve. So I'm going to be cutting it out this way. So as you can see, I'm just going to be folding it the way I've cut out this one. Let me do it with you guys. Let me do it off camera. So I'm going to be placing it this way. So when I'm sewing, I'm just going to be placing it in a way that I'll use it to turn it. And so this is it for the front. So the back is not going to be having this black net because the net is not going to be enough. So let's cut out the flared part for the front and for the back. So for the flared part, so I cut it off camera. That's because this table is small for me to cut it, so I have to cut it on the floor. Then number two, the material is a bit short of material, so I have to like calculate it very well before I cut it out. So now this is the upper part. So this is going to be for the front. So this is it. So to cut this out, you're just going to be folding your material into two. Let me get a piece just to make an example. So let me make an example with this. So let's say this is the plain material, like this is your maybe like 3 yards, so I think 3 yards is going to be enough for your flared because mine I had around 2.5 or 2.25. So let's say this is your material, so this is the length of your 6 yards. Okay, let me use this part. I think this part is longer. So like this is probably your by 45, then this is the full length. So what you are going to do is that you will fold it this way. You fold everything you have this way. I'm just trying to show you how I cut out the flare off camera. So you fold everything you have into two. So it means that if you're having 3 yards, by the time you fold, you're having 1.5. So the next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be folding it this way. Now, if you go all the way this way, because our cloth is having yoke, it means that the amount of fabric you'll be wasting here is going to be much. I hope you understand. So let me say, you don't fold it in a sharp way this way. If you do, the half length, the waist measurements you're going to be cutting out will be too much. So it's advisable for you to cut it out this way, like to extend it this way. So this is how it's going to be looking. So this is how the back is going to be looking, and this is the part you want to cut out. So from here now, it's possible when you are cutting it out, you might have shortage here. there's no problem. You can just cut out excess and add. So from here you just measure your waist measurement. So for this style now, you remember we used the yoke part. So whatever it is that is on your yoke part, you measure it and place it here. Then you measure your allowance so that it's going to be enough for you. So that was how I was able to cut out for this. So as you can see, the same thing I explained, that was how I did this. So by the time I was done, I had shortage around this side. So I already cut out my pieces for my shortage so I can fix them. So this is one for this part, this is the second one for this part. So by time, so now to start sewing, the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be joining this shortage together. So I'm just going to be placing right sides facing each other this way, and I also on 1/2 inches, and this side also right sides facing each other, and I also sew on 1/2 inches. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this. Then for the front part that we just cut out, so this is for the front part that has the blackness. So what I'm going to be doing is, so this is the front, this is also the front of this. So I'm going to be placing, this is the front side, this is the front side facing me, this is the front side facing me. So I'm going to be sewing it this way. I'll go ahead to turn the neckline this way, so by the time I turn it in, the front side of this side is going to be facing me. So please, when you want to arrange this, please properly arrange it very well so that you not make mistake. That's what I'm using this one to turn the net. So when I'm done with this, I'm also going to work on the neckline for the back. So now I'm also going to go ahead to cut out a pieces for turning the neckline for the back. So I'll do that and come back and show you what it is I have here. So guys, I finished up the necklines for the front and the back. So this is for the front, you can see how it is. So I thought I was going to use it to turn it. So this is for the front, and this is also for the back. So I cut out a piece just to turn the back. So this is the neckline for the back. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing this back on each other this way. Remember that for the zipper allowance we left 1.5 inches, so I'm going to sew on that 1.5 inches. After I'm done, I'm going to be opening it up this way. So when I open it up this way, after sewing my 1.5 inches down, I'm going to be placing my neckline for the front on the one for the back. I hope you understand. So I'm going to be using it to turn it this way. I'm going to be sewing it this way. So this is how to join your shoulder. So this is the shoulder, this is the shoulder, this is the back shoulder, this is the front shoulder. So you open them up both this way. So you sew on 1/2 inches. Remember we left 1/2 inches to join the shoulder. So I'm going to be sewing this way and also sewing this part. Then I'll come back and show you for this yoke how far we've gone. So for the joining for the back part, so this is where I was able to join it. So after I give it a good press, it's not going to be visible even to the customer except you tell them. So this was where I joined it, so you can see. So this is the joining. So I did it for the other part of the back also. So let's go ahead to do this neckline, then I'll come back and show you the next step. So guys, I've gone ahead to do everything I said I was going to do. So you can see that I've joined the shoulder, I've joined it here. So because there's no light, so I was not able to iron this cloth, so that's why I'm pinning every part that I can pin. So this is the neckline. I've gone ahead to take my 1.5 inches for my zipper down. So this is the back now, so this is the front. So now the next thing to do is to place my flare. So for the front part, so this is the front part, so you're going to be placing right sides facing each other. So this is it. So this is my right side. So I'm just going to open it up this way and place it this way. So we're going to be sewing on 1/2 inches and sew it this way and sew it this way. So I hope you understand. So I'm going to be sewing on 1/2 inches this way. So it's going to be right sides facing each other. So I'm going to place it this way and sew on 1/2 inches. Then for this back part also, I'm also going to open this place. So the reason why I closed this place initially was so that I can finish up the shoulder line properly without any adjustment. So now I just opened it up a little. So I'll take one part of the back part I'm going to be placing it on one side, and I'm also going to be placing the other one on the other side too. So I'm going to go ahead to do all of that on the sewing machine, and I will show you how far we've gone. So here is it. We've joined it. So this is the front. I've gone ahead to join it just the way I said I was going to join it, and this is also the back. This dress is so rough. There's no light to whip or to iron. So this is the other part. So you can see my zipper allowance is also included in my flare for the back. So when you are cutting your own, please include your zipper allowance so that you won't have shortage of fabric when you're joining. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is that I'm going to be closing up this back side. Probably when I'm done with the sleeve, that's when I'm going to be placing the zipper, because I don't want to have any issue with this dress. So now the next thing to do is to close up the zipper allowance and to join my sides here. Remember, I used 1.5 inches on each side, so I'm going to also be taking in my 1.5 inches. This dress is actually a free dress, so I'm going to be taking my 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches here. Then I'm going to be cutting out the sleeve, then we insert the sleeve, and so let me just go and do that and come back and show you. So now I'm going to be taking my 1.5 inches in here, 1.5 inches in here, and take in my zipper allowance. So guys, this is it. So they brought light. I was able to iron the neckline, so you can see how beautiful the neckline is looking. So I hope you can see. So this is the flared area, so I was able to iron the sides. So this is the back of the dress. So now you can see that the yoke, they are lined without the person even, except you look at it very well, you will not notice that there's a join in there. So this is the zipper allowance. So we'll work on the zipper allowance when I'm done with this sleeve. So now let's cut out the sleeve. Okay? So we're just going to be cutting out the sleeve with this. So you see that the sleeve is having puff. It's a puffed sleeve and a normal sleeve. So I'll first of all cut out the normal sleeve here. So I'll cut out the normal sleeve using this material. Okay, it will be enough. So now to cut out your sleeve, so the first thing I did was I fold this fabric into two, as you can see. I want to cut the two sleeves together. So firstly, I'm going to be measuring the length I want for this sleeve. So I think I'm going to be measuring 9 inches. So if I'm using 9 inches, I'm going to be cutting out 10 inches here. So let's cut out 10 inches first. So I'm going to be cutting out 10 inches. So this is 10 inches here. So I'm not trying to get my 10 inches so that I'm not making a mistake. So now this is my 10 inches. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is already folded into two. So I'm going to fold it this way. So I'm going to be folding it this way. So I think I have around 9 inches here. 9 inches here. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be coming down here by 4 inches. Let me get my... So I'm going to be coming down by 4 inches for my armhole slope. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be connecting. So I'm teaching you how to cut a sleeve. So firstly, you come down by 4 inches. Then the next thing to do is from this 4 inches, you take your tape rule to the edge of the folded part. So just the way I did it this way. Then whatsoever it is you have here, I have around 10 inches here. So you divide it into two. So that's how to just cut a simple sleeve. So when you divide it into two, the next thing you do is you take your armhole curve, you go up this way. You can see the way I curved it this way. So you go up this way, then you take the other part, then you come down this way. So you can see from the midpoint, so you come down this way. So this will help your sleeve to sit perfectly on your arm. So the next thing you are going to be doing, you are going to measure the person's round armhole. So for this person, I'm going to be using 8 inches for her armhole. That's because she has a big armhole. So I'm going to be using 8 inches. So the entire armhole I'm working with is 7 inches. So if I use 8 inches, I'll use 1 inches to join the sides together. And so that's how we'll do it. So I'm just going to connect it this way. So you can see how simple it is to cut your sleeve. So if you've not cut out your sleeve before, maybe, I think most of my videos, I always like rush this part. That's because I already have a detailed beginners friendly tutorial on my channel for this sleeve. So this is how it's looking. So you can see when I open it up, this is for the two sleeve. So the next thing we are going to be doing is we're going to be looking for what we'll be using to make the gathers. So for the entire sleeve, I'm going to be using around 15 inches for the entire sleeve. So if I already have 9 inches here, so it means I need like 6 inches for the purvy part. So I'm going to be using this part of the material. That's because the material came in pieces, so that's why. So now I'm going to be using this part. So this is more like by 45. So this is like by 45. So I'm going to be folding it this way. So since this is 9 already, so we want around 7 inches here. You notice that on all my measurements, I'm always adding 1 inches. That's because I don't want any issue. So I think this is fine. So this is fine. So I'm going to be cutting this out. So this is for the two sleeve, and you notice that I fold it. So you notice that it is on fold now. So guys, I just checked the style now. So I noticed that they used enough material so that you can draw down, you can draw up the purve, and it will be more fuller. So that was what they did here. So what I'm going to be doing now is that, so I'm going to be using this for one of the sleeve. I'm also going to be using this other one for one of the sleeves. So it means that this sleeve is going to be having a little, okay, nothing sha, I think is enough. It's just that one part is going to be longer than the other, but that is not a problem. So what I'm going to be doing, please, I hope you can see what I'm doing. So firstly, what I did is I'm going to be making sure the two sleeves are equal. So it means I'm going to be trimming this longer part. So I'm going to be trimming this longer part. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for fabric to join to this, so that it's going to be equal with this. So I think I need around how many inches that way? And around 5.5 inches by 14 inches. So I will cut it out from these pieces here. So I will need like 2. So it's going to help. So I'm going to be using it to join this part that is not complete. So I hope you understand. So I'm going to be joining it this way, so you can see that they are now complete. So this is for the purvy part. So now for this purvy part, we are going to be working on the entire sleeve together now. So let me use the other part that I'm not going to be joining so that I can explain. So firstly now, you take this to your sewing machine and you make a casing for elastic. That's because underneath that you're going to be dragging. So I'm going to be making a casing for elastic. When I am done with the casing for elastic, then the next thing you do is you pick up one of your sleeve this way. So you find the midpoint of this sleeve and the midpoint of this part, then you gather. I hope you understand. So you make pleats on this part, you make pleats like this, and that is how the sleeve will be formed. I hope we understand. So let me repeat myself. So firstly, the straight part, you fold it this way for your casing for elastic. Then the other part is going to be what you are going to be joining to your sleeve. So right sides facing each other, you find the midpoint of your sleeve and the midpoint of this, you place them together so that you can pleat the rest, and there's not going to be excess on one side or on the other side. I hope we understand. So that's what I'm going to go and do on this entire sleeve, and I'll come back and show you what we have. So for the joint part, we're just going to join it on the sewing machine, and we'll come back and show you guys. So let me go. Okay guys, so this is one of the sleeves. So let me open it up so that you can see how it's looking. So this is the upper part, so this is the down part. So you can see I ran a pleat all across this part, so you can see. So now the next thing to do is to gather this place. So now to gather this place, you measure your round armhole. So for this person, I'm going to be using 6 inches for her round armhole. So I cut out this is around 12 inches. So I'm going to use this pin. I'm going to insert it this way and use this pin. So then you insert it this way and you begin to drag until everything fits into the elastic. So this is for one part of the sleeve. So the next thing to do is to join these sides together. So I'll take this to the sewing machine and run a straight stitch using 1 inches. So this is how it's going to be looking. So by the time she wears it, she can gather it and it will be looking this way. So let me go ahead to do the second one, then I will join these sides, then we'll come back and show you, then we'll fix it to the dress. So guys, this is it after I was done joining every part. This is the puffy area. So when she wears, she's going to fold it this way, so you can see it's giving the style very well. So this was when I just sewed it. So what we are going to do now is just to fix it. So this is our dress. So now to fix it to our dress, we're just going to, so this is how it's going to be looking on the dress. Show you. So the other one too will come this way. So to fix this, I'm just going to be opening it this way, and I'm just going to be sewing it all around. I'm also going to be doing the same thing here. And so guys, that is it for the end of this tutorial. I think this tutorial is a bit long, I don't know why, but this is it, Sha. So the next thing to do is just to fix the zipper. I'll do that off camera and drop this edge also, and that is it. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for staying tuned to the end of this video. So I hope you recreate yours, make beautiful styles with yours. If you are lucky you have enough black material to increase the sleeve, you can do that. So that is all for this tutorial. Thank you so much guys for watching this tutorial, and I'm going to be seeing you in my next tutorial. Bye guys. So guys, we have come to the end of the tutorial. So this is it after I've fixed the sleeve. So this is the public part of the sleeve. So, and this is the flag part. So guys, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I'm going to be seeing you in my next video. Bye guys.